people of Buffalo, New York don't scare easily. President McKinley was assassinated there in 1901, and they moved on. They have loved their Buffalo Bills from the good years through the bad years, and now that they're good again, they have given the world not only Tim Russert, but also Wolf Blitzer. And while Buffalo is a tough town, they may have finally met their match. A relentless snowstorm has dropped nearly 6 feet of snow coming right in off the lake, with upwards of 2 more feet on the way. Daily life has simply come to a halt for many across a big area, and the storm has already cost several lives. It is officially a state of emergency tonight across a whole region. It's where we begin our coverage tonight with NBC's Lester Holt. Lester, good evening.
Brian, good evening. It's a jaw-dropping amount of snow. People can't get in and out of their neighborhoods. Here in Cheektowaga, 65 inches have fallen. I can touch the top of a street sign here, and mind you, I'm not on top of the snow. I'm about knee-deep in it right now. As you said, it's been deadly. At least 7 deaths attributed to this storm. 132 miles of New York Thruway closed because of all this. The speed at which all this has come down simply caught a lot of people off guard. This powerful storm has paralyzed parts of the Buffalo area, immobilizing entire communities. People trapped in cars, trucks, and their homes. The relentless Arctic air, dangerous for anyone who has to be outside. It started early yesterday as a giant wall of snow, dumping almost 6 feet in some parts. Looking down at the extreme conditions, a whiteout. Backyards buried, homes under huge drifts. From the air, you really get a sense of the patchwork. Some areas barely got a dusting. Other neighborhoods appear to be just buried. Astonishing, even by Buffalo standards.
I've never seen anything like this. 36. Been in Buffalo with some pretty good storms, and this is by far the worst.
100 people stranded on roads. Trucker Mick Brennan was on his way from Massachusetts to Ohio when his semi got stranded in the snow for more than 40 hours.
We use a bunk heater that we have inside the truck to keep warm. Then every now and then we have to start up the engine just to keep it warm, to keep it freezing up.
Police had to use snowmobiles to help when a fire truck got stuck. Today, the National Guard arrived and hundreds of plows were mobilized.
This is an extraordinarily difficult circumstance. We have had a loss of life. Let's hope that we don't have any more.
In and around Buffalo, many are snowbound at home.
That's our backyard.
Chris Hazard and her family spent the day sweeping up this mess. All that snow broke through the back door. They've had to get creative with the cleanup.
You can see it's almost all the way to the top of where the top of the treadmill is holding it in place.
We've been stuck here since Monday evening.
Jennifer Schramm and her family, including baby Evan, are snowed in and worried about their food supply.
We're trying to ration what we have because we only planned for 3 to 4 days at best. And that they're saying the plows may not get to us until it starts to melt over the weekend.
This morning, the Niagara University women's basketball team was rescued after spending more than 24 hours stranded on the highway, rationing food and melting snow for water. Tonight, the call is out for workers to help shovel Buffalo's Ralph Wilson Football Stadium before the Bills play the Jets on Sunday. $10 an hour and free tickets to the game, if they can get there safely. The nature of this kind of snow, some places get hammered, a short place a while away, nothing. Give you an example, to the south of where we are, 65 inches. You go 7 miles away to the north, just 2 inches of snow, Brian, has fallen.
Lester, what an unbelievable scene there tonight. Lester Holt starting us off tonight. Thanks. We now want to go 16 miles to the south of where Lester is. Our meteorologist Dylan Dreyer is in Hamburg, New York, with more on this other big storm moving in tonight. Hey, Dylan, good evening.
Hey, good evening, Brian. The snow falling right now has nothing to do with lake effect. It's just a little disturbance moving through. But lake effect snow is such a fascinating phenomenon to produce this much snow in just 24 hours. Take a look at the radar from the height of the storm yesterday, where we saw these streamers come in and they pass over the same area for hours and hours and hours, producing snowfall rates of 4 inches per hour. But then a little shift in the wind and the whole thing lifts north. Now we are going to see tonight winds shift back to more of an onshore flow. It's going to turn on the lake effect snow machine once again. We are going to see it start around 11 o'clock tonight and last for about 18 hours, producing heavy snow. And where the streamers set up that produce the heaviest snow, we could see another 3 feet fall. And it looks like this area could be the area where we see the 3 feet, Brian.
Dylan Dreyer in Hamburg, New York for us tonight. Remains an incredible weather situation.
Yeah. I'd like to welcome everybody to my podcast. I am your gracious host, Jupiter 9, man. And that was a clip from, one of the many winter storms that Buffalo can receive through that beautiful lake effect snow, man. If you don't know what lake effect snow is the snow that blows off the lake when it freezes, man. When the temperature of the lake freezes and the wind picks that the snow from the frozen lake and blows it over the city, that is lake effect snow, man. And I have been through some rough times with that snow, man. Buffalo snow is completely different from New York City. New York City gets snow, but they don't get snow like upstate, man. Upstate, it's a totally different monster, man. Totally different monster. And I remember that I think it was a clip from the October storm, man. The October storm, that was something else, man. And I tell you, it's wild being here in Tennessee now, and people are cold at 50 degrees, and schools shut down when there's maybe a threat of a some type of like thunderstorm, or like a week ago they closed down a school because there was a threat of a serious thunderstorm, and they closed the schools down there. And I was like, huh? I mean, in order for something to be closed down in Buffalo, New York, it would have to be something to the extent of what you just heard. I mean, it would have to snow to the top of the house roof, man. And I can remember many times as a kid going to school, and the weather being horrible, getting -8. The coldest I ever seen back home was like minus like 9, almost -10 or something like that I can remember. And I don't even think schools closed. I don't think. Not that I can remember. No, it's been plenty of times that, they should have closed schools and even businesses, or, should have closed everything down. And, they did not close anything down. You still had to go to school. That's why I laugh about, the way people see cold here. And, if it snows, like here is just in Tennessee, it snowed for like, 2 minutes, and people were freaking out. I just have to laugh at stuff like that, because I've seen snow, man. And, being a Buffalonian and living through all those rough winters, those winters are rough, man. They're different, man. They're different because of the way they hit. Like, it can be clear outside, you know what I'm saying? People walking their dogs, and the city would just get hit out of nowhere. Just any given time in the wintertime, you can get a hit with like 20 inches of snow just like that. In winter, it would just be linger on and on, it'll snow all the way up into April. Like, it's no joke, man. It's no joke. And, try walking in that stuff. Try, trying to get to your job. You don't have money for to get on the bus, or, to catch it. You didn't have Uber back then. You know what I'm saying? You didn't have Uber back then. So you either had to ride a bike or catch a bus and try to get it to work in that stuff. Try to walk in that stuff, man. Try to walk in that stuff and try to get to work, man. You know what I'm saying? Try to stand at the bus stop at like -5 degrees, and your fingertips feel like they're about to fall off, man. Like, Buffalo weather is rough, man. It's rough. And at times it can be depressing too, because, like, it snows so much that, you know, you really can't go out and do stuff in the wintertime. You're really stuck in the house all winter, pretty much. Know what I mean? And then, you know, when the weather breaks, it's just like, man, I'm finally out the house. You know what I'm saying? That's why there's so much crime there. You know what I'm saying? That's why there's so much crime in the summertime, is because people been stuck in their house all winter, and they got to release that energy, man. They got to release that energy, you know what I'm saying, of being stuck in the house all winter, man. You know, it's very, very difficult to make it in Buffalo. That's one of the reasons why it's so difficult to make it in Buffalo, is because of the harsh winters, man. The harsh winters. Like, I don't think I ever seen winters anywhere else that harsh. I seen a car that was completely frozen in ice. You know what I'm saying? Back home. I don't know if you ever see that in any other city, man. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, that's what makes Buffalo, man. You know, that's what makes the people in Buffalo so tough. You know what I'm saying? Not tough as like fighting or anything, but tough dealing with situations. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, you know, you know, one thing about the winter, I always used to enjoy driving in it, you know, because it would be times where you couldn't see it'll be a whiteout in front of you, and you got to figure out how to get home. You know what I'm saying? And you can't see in front of you. So you had to, the thing I would do, I would look at the tracks down on the ground and follow the tracks, and, you know, drive myself home safely, slowly but safely. And you would have to get out periodically and, you know, wipe off your window and right in the middle of the street. You know what I'm saying? You can do that, you know, and cops won't bother you or nothing like that, because they understood how bad the weather is, and nobody's going to be like honking their horn at you because other people are doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? I remember one time it was snowing so bad that my windshield wipers broke, and I had to take my hand and like literally like stick out the car and wipe off my window at the same time with my one hand. That was wild, man. So many stories, man. A lot of people lost their life in winter weather like that too as well. I think I told the story at the time my boss wanted me in the October storm that we had. He wanted me to stay overnight because people became, you know, they were stranded in the street. And so they ended up walking into the restaurant for like a safe haven, you know what I'm saying? I mean, they couldn't go nowhere because there's too much snow. So a lot of people from out of state, you know, truck drivers and stuff like that come in Buffalo, and they get stuck a lot of times because of the weather. So people are coming into the restaurant, you know, to warm up and maybe get something to eat or use the bathroom or whatever they had to do for like a little safe haven and whatnot. But my boss wanted me to stay after, and I told him no. I told him I was walking home, and he thought it was crazy. And I ended up walking home that night. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it had to been like the guy said, it had to be like 60 feet of snow outside, 60 plus feet of snow, and I walked in it, man. It didn't turn out to be that bad, because, you know, it was so much snow that I was walking pretty much on top of cars, on top of the roof of the cars. I was walking on top of that joint, man. And I made it home. It took me a few hours, but I made it home. And the crazy part about that is I only live like, what, an hour away from my job, 45 minutes or something like that. Hour at most, depending on how fast I walk. And it took me a few hours to get home, but I got home that night. You know what I mean? It's just Buffalo weather, man. It's unexpected. You never know what you're gonna get. It's either hailing real crazy, and then it'll knock out your power. Your power's constantly being knocked out all the time back home. You know what I'm saying? Snow for days. Like I said, it'll snow all the way up into April, mid-April, end of April. Don't think it snows into May. But those are the things you can expect if you looking to, you know, move to Buffalo or move to any part of Buffalo, Hamburg, you know what I'm saying, Lancaster, Cheektowaga, Orchard Park. If you're looking to move in any of those parts, man, expect snow. Expect to get that winter jacket you always wanted to wear. You'll be able to wear it back in Buffalo, know what I mean? But, you know, I think that the city, when it comes to, you know, snowstorms, for the most part, they handle it well, man. They clear out the streets pretty well. Only thing they don't really clear out fast is like the streets on the east side, man. It seems like they get to those last. You know what I'm saying? They clear out the main streets first. But I mean, I remember growing up as a kid, man, just it snowing all the time. Like, it don't snow as much as it used to. I don't know if that's what they call global warming or whatever, but it don't snow as much as it used to. I know recently, like a few months ago, they got hit with 77 inches of snow. I wasn't there for that one, you know what I'm saying? And my cousin, before he passed away, R.I.P. cousin, before he passed away, he sent me pictures. I'm like, man, you guys got hit. He was like, yeah, cuz it's real bad. He said that like a bunch of people had passed away because they were stuck in the street and you know, in their cars and all that. So, you know, before he passed away, he sent me pictures and I was like, wow, that's a lot of snow. But yeah, it can get crazy in Buffalo, man. Like I said, I don't know about any other part of New York, but you know, Buffalo, Rochester, you know what I'm saying? Those parts, I mean, get snow for days, man. If you kids like snow, move to Buffalo. You know what I'm saying? You'll get plenty of snow. Oh man. I'm see if I got any other stories. Yo, I remember my friend she was from White Plains, New York, man. And she came to visit or whatnot. And a storm hit. You know what I'm saying? And she hadn't been in like she moved from White Plains from New York years ago. So I think she living in North Carolina, I think, or something like that. I don't remember. But anyway, she came to visit and a storm had hit and she was looking like, what the hell? She seen all that snow blowing. And she was like, what in the hell? She said, I haven't seen snow like that in years. I'm like, yeah, welcome to Buffalo, man. And then I had to, it got really bad. So I had to, you know, keep getting out my vehicle to wipe my window off because it was a whiteout. So I couldn't see. So I had to do the follow the tracks on the ground technique and just, you know, follow the tracks on the ground. She was looking bugged out. And she was looking at me like, yo, you not even bothered by it? Like, no. We go through this every year. Like, this is typical Buffalo stuff, man. Like, she was just looking at me like, yo, I don't know if I could deal with all this snow like this. You guys get a crazy amount of snow. And I was like, facts, we do. That's what I tried to tell you. You know what I'm saying? I was like, you lucky you even made it here. For real, because they probably would have canceled the flight and all that. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's what you can expect, you know, if you're visiting Buffalo around Christmas time, November, December, definitely January, February. I mean, that's what you can expect, man. I think it's still snowing right now. And it's crazy. Like, here is just 2 minutes of snow, and that was it for winter. And, you know, I could probably buy me a bicycle and, you know, ride my bike all year around here. Word. This is crazy here, man. Like, the weather is nice and people walking around with their shirts. Oh, man. But, yeah, man. It's rough. And definitely another thing, too, is, like, if you don't have a job by the time winter hits, you might as well not have a job for winter because you're not going to find one, especially if you don't have a vehicle to get out into the other areas and, you know, look for work. You're not going to have a job, man, because a lot of businesses are not hiring at that time because business slows down. So they're not going to be hiring anybody to work or anything like that when business is down. They're not going to hire you in the wintertime. The weather is too bad. Now, if you catch a winter that's not that bad, and, you know, it might be some jobs available. But in the wintertime, and it's a usual, typical Buffalo winter that's crazy, you can forget about it. Just sit at home because you're not going to really find work, especially if you don't have a vehicle. If you don't have a vehicle and you walking or you catching a bus, good luck. Good luck. You might as well get you like a paper route or, you know, collect cans because you're gonna be out of job until winter breaks. You know what I'm saying? The weather gets better, spring comes around, you know, and it stops snowing. Then you might be able to find a job. But till then, I don't know what you're gonna do, man. Word. That's another thing too. Opportunities are limited as hell, especially in the wintertime. Especially in the wintertime. Like I said, they're hiring. Some places are hiring jobs, but it's so few and so many people going after the same job. It's just like you got to compete with mad people just to get the same job that other people are applying for. So you might as well just wait till the weather break, man. That's how bad winter can be. It can affect your opportunities for a job. Yeah, that's another thing too. A lot of people don't talk about, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to Buffalo and those crazy winters, man. You know what I mean? I like winter, but I don't know if I miss all that snow, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Walking in that stuff is terrible. It's terrible. It's just like, you know, it's nowhere to walk. You know what I'm saying? You got all this snow. None of the sidewalks have been plowed. The street might have been plowed, but the plows are knocking all the snow on the sidewalk on top of the snow that's already there. So you basically got to walk in the street and possibly get hit by a snowplow. That's real. Like if you don't walk in the street and see a snowplow and then jump on the sidewalk with all this snow, you got to literally like Superman yourself off into the sidewalk in order to miss the snowplow. Yo, because somebody will hit you, yo. If it's not a snowplow, a truck will hit you because people are not going to care that you're in the street. They will try to hit you. Word up, man. Oh, man. Oh, boy. But yeah, that's Buffalo in a nutshell, man. Pause. But yeah, man, that's my take in this podcast episode. I just wanted to share, you know, a little glimpse of, you know, Buffalo winters and tell you how the winters are. They're atrocious. That's what they are, man. But one thing I do miss, man, is the food, man. I miss, you know, Bocce's, man. Bocce's pizza. I miss the food, man. You know what I'm saying? I miss it. You know what I'm saying? We do have some good food. The food is here. The food here in Tennessee is good too, but you know, I miss, you know, the wings and pizza, and, you know, yeah, man, Avenues, you know what I mean, Bocce's, Lenova's, man. But that's my take, guys. Thank you for tuning into this episode. Please share this with families and friends. You know what I'm saying? Please share this with everybody. But that's my take. I am your gracious host, Jupiter 9, and I just want to say peace and love to everybody. Take care. One.